will you consider having children? I guess when the condom breaks. G'day and welcome to the world of Loco Lari. Today's topic was requested by one of my lovely listeners who said you have to cover those who incessantly say, "Are you going to have kids?" every single time you see them. So this one goes out to all those annoying aunties, mother-in-laws and nosy old ladies out there who seem to think that pestering is the perfect way to convince someone to have a child. And yes, I only mentioned women for a reason. I haven't been pestered about kids by a man before, but it's entirely possible. It's just my experience that the very people who probably hated being bugged about it when they were young end up being the buggers when they get older. Oh no. Hey Morgan, please slap me if I ever pester some poor girl who's just living her life about when she's gonna have kids. Okay, so I have two stories to share on this topic. One is not so shocking and the other you're gonna have to sit down for. Okay, so we'll start with the non-shocking one. Early on in our relationship, in those stages where your partner's family are finding out about you, and since they can't all just come over and meet you and say hi, they just call each other and talk about you and judge you by your social media. Well, when we were in that stage, one of Morgan's relatives said that we would have beautiful chocolate babies. Look, honestly, chocolate does not have a good track record in our house, so if we were to have a chocolate baby, I'd have to hide it somewhere in the deep dark corners of the pantry if it had any chance of survival. Okay, on the topic of colour, one half of my family is Sri Lankan. That's how they found me, because Sri Lanka is such a small place and everyone knows everyone. So they're Sri Lankans, which means they're brown like me, but let me tell you, the brown has pretty much bred out of that family. I have a long-lost aunt who is brown, like my colour. She has 4 kids and they all turned out white. And now one of her kids had a kid and he is also white. And out of all 7 first cousins on my Sri Lankan side, I am the only one left who might carry brown into the future. And I'm adopted. So whoever thinks that brown is the dominant gene, think again. I googled it, and apparently Google doesn't even know. So there you go. Research is incomplete in that area. But from my observations, Morgan and I would not have beautiful chocolate babies. Their chocolatey goodness might be overruled and we might end up just having babies instead, like the kind where people don't get to add the word chocolate in front. Anyway, story number 2. Morgan and I were leaving his parents' house and his mum says to me, "You should stop taking your pill." And by this, she means the contraceptive pill. Now, silly me, I didn't understand what she was getting at. I thought maybe there was something weird going on with my face and that's being caused by the pill, and she was kindly letting me know. So I asked, why is that? And she replied, "Because you're not getting any younger." Now, what's going through my head is that poor woman doesn't know how the pill works and that it's not meant to make you younger, as awesome as that would be. But since we were leaving, I didn't have time to explain it to her, and then she said, "And I'm not getting any younger either." And then I was so confused. Has she been stealing my pill and taking it in hopes that it makes her younger? So, just in case someone else has a confused mother-in-law, play this podcast to them and let them know that the pill is not an elixir of youth. It is something you take to stop you from getting pregnant. And some women take it for hormone control as well. Okay, so I'd like to finish off this podcast by giving everybody out there my favourite responses to commonly asked questions. Question number 1. When will we be hearing the pitter-patter of little feet? The answer is never, because my feet are massive. I'm a size 9. There is no way in hell I'm going to be pittery-pattering around. I walk like an elephant. Question number 2. When will you consider having children? I guess when the condom breaks. Question number 3. Kids are your life. Exactly. My life is my life, and I guess I choose fun over 9 months of having my insides kicked and then having to keep that thing alive for 18 years. I mean, I feel tied down enough by my garden, and if my track record with plants is anything to go by, those kids will probably only last a few weeks and I'll forget to water them or whatever you do with kids, and then I'll have to start again and try to grow new ones. Number 4. Kids give you meaning in life. No, I give my life meaning, and I take offense to that, because what about all the people out there who, for whatever reason, are not able to have children? Do their lives not have meaning? I mean, I still care about the planet and what kind of world I'm going to leave behind for my pets, so that's good enough for me. In fact, I care so much about my contribution to the earth that I'm going out of my way not to overpopulate it. If Jenny over there wasn't so selfish having 4 kids, maybe I could have had 1, but the earth can't support all of us, so I'm just over here doing my meaningful part by bringing balance to the universe. And now I'm off to find 2 more women who will join me in being the yin to Jenny's yang. Number 5. Kids bring you joy. And what if they don't? Can I return them? Or am I stuck with 18 years of hell? Because that's a fair chunk of my life that I'm not prepared to gamble with. And finally, why don't you want to have kids? You know, It's purely so you still have something to ask me every time we meet. You're welcome. If you'd like to contact me and ask me anything at all, my email address is morganandlari@gmail.com. That's morganandlari@gmail.com. Feel free to ask me anything about me or give me a topic that you would like me to discuss on the podcast. Tell me a story about you, and if you'd like to get my thoughts on it, that would be awesome. And that's all for now. Bye!